Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to your coverage of the International 2, the greatest and bestest Dota 2 tournament of all time, and arguably one of the bestest, yes that is a word, tournament in the scene of esports in its entirety. You could argue, I don't know, there have been some pretty big Brood War tournaments, so I'm not sure, it's a bit of an iffy statement. Nevertheless, I'm going to try and finish my way through the international games, work my way through the path that Na'Vi is taking, considering that their games, they're always fighting against an Asian team, and it always creates excitement because it's Na'Vi fighting it out against another brilliant Asian team, and it's a tough fight on both sides, it really is. Either the winner bracket semi-finals, a best of 3 between Na'Vi versus IG, Invictus Gaming. Na'Vi hailing from the land of the Ukraine fan favorites from within the scene of Dota 2 in its entirety, and they're fighting it out against a Chinese team, Invictus Gaming, the millionaire team that has been promised an additional $1 million if they win the international, so they have extra incentive to try and take victory. The victor of this will continue to proceed. They will fight it out against LGD with another chance to get that $1 million, while the loser will drop down into the lower bracket and have to fight it out, but they will still have that chance of securing themselves that top prize of glorious $1 million. And the main reason I want to try and finish this up really quickly is Star Series has just begun. I want to try and cast as much of that as possible, so I want to finish up the International 2 quickly as soon as they have the ticket available. Right now you can't actually view the replays, which sort of sucks, so hopefully they'll have the ticket available. I can purchase that for myself, and from then on out I'll be able to cast the games found from within Star Series, and it shall be glorious. Jumping straight to the draft, we have the team Na'Vi taking out that of the Invoker, following it up with Nagasiren and Darkseer, with Invictus Gaming responding to that with a respect ban coming in from the Pudge, following that up with Lycanthrope and of course Leshrac. Very standard bans with the exception of the Pudge, I would say. Pudge, Na'Vi is really the only team that ran with Pudge during the International, and we can see quite clearly here that teams are afraid of him. He completely throws a wrench into the style that Asian teams play. He can just, that hook is really disruptive, and it's simply easier to just take it out of the mix, take it out of consideration. IG, first pick available for them, they do secure themselves up that Rubik, which puts a bit of pressure on Na'Vi. They have to be cautious about what spells they use, because you don't want to let that Rubik steal something very powerful, such as a Black Hole, such as maybe even the Holy Persuasion to come in from Chen, possibly Ravage, depending on what heroes they have on their side. Na'Vi, the first couple of picks, Chen, we're going to see some legendary Chen action coming in from Puppey, with the next pickup going to be that of Anti-Mage. So we have the late game hard carry hero that's going to farm his way towards some early and mid stages of the game, and hopefully help out the team of Na'Vi towards those later stages of the game. And Chen, who can bolster early pushes, send teammates back to base, global heal, he's a really nice hero, and Puppey is legendary on that Chen. IG having that Rubik is nice enough as it is. What other heroes do they want to add to their composition? Morphling is still in the pool, and the Chinese teams have been playing that Morphling to great effect as of late, but Anti-Mage sort of beats out Morphling because Mana Drain, you can't really get away that easily with the waveform, because Blink is a far better in terms of maneuverability, and you also have that Mana Drain, which means you can't morph to Strength. But IG say, F it, we don't care, we're confident in our ability, and they select up a Morphling and a Broodmother. Now IG's composition is looking fairly strong, is looking fairly powerful. Na'Vi are going to have to be cautious, they're going to have to play their cards right. Puppey has a lot of thinking ahead of him to deal with the current composition of IG. I also forgot to mention, who do we have playing for us today? We have Faith sitting in the captain's chair over on the side of Invictus Gaming, following it up with Zhao, Ferrari 430, YYF, and Chuan. And over on the side of Na'Vi, we have Captain Puppey, Havorst, Dendi, Light of Heaven, and Arsart. Team of Ukrainians, one Estonian, and a couple of Russians reporting in for Na'Vi, with Invictus Gaming, everyone but Chuan being from China, Chuan being Malaysian, in fact. Just a bit of trivia information going in right there. Na'Vi going to select up the Tidehunter for the third and final pick for the first set of picks. And again, we're going to have to be cautious with that Tidehunter. Rubik can snap out that Ravage, and if he steals a big ultimate like that, it is devastating for the opposing team. Absolutely a worst case scenario. And that Tidehunter needs to make sure he anchor smashes after... Excuse me. Ugh. Anchor smashes after every Ravage, and he also needs to make sure that he catches out the Rubik, because it's easy for Rubik to stay out of that Ravage range, blink or force stuff in, and then snatch it before he can Anchor Smash, because the Anchor Smash has a cast time, and it's actually a fairly long cast time. There's plenty of opportunity to steal that. Jumping straight into the next set of bans, we see Puck being removed out by IG, another respect ban. They're taking out those solo mids, they're taking out those heroes that Dendy is very, very competent with, and Puck is one of those heroes. As to how Na'Vi will respond, well, what do we have on IG? It really depends how they play it. You typically don't... Furion's still in here and didn't get picked? That's not something you see every day. So Furion removed out by Na'Vi, 100% understandable. How did he not get picked? I have no idea. But Morphling, how will Invictus Gaming play that Rubik? Typically, we see Rubik solo mid, but among the Chinese team, Rubik is played more as a hard support down bottom. We could just see Rubik babysitting that Morphling. Or maybe Rubik will go solo mid, we'll have to wait and see. IG continuing to take, speaking of solo mids, IG taking out more solo mids, taking out those heroes that Tinker, or rather that Dendy is very good at, such as a Tinker, just making life a little bit easier for them and narrowing the options that the team of Na'Vi have available for them. And then we're going to be taken out by Na'Vi, going to take out more initiation to come out of IG. Excuse me. I wish Fraps had a mute button, that'd be nice to just press something and then stops recording all the sound from the microphone, it'd be great. XSplit has that, but alas, Fraps does not. Invictus Gaming, how will they want to respond to this? What do they need currently? They've got an off-laner, they have several solo laners, Morphling can go solo mid, Rubik can go solo mid. Chances are we're going to see Morphling and Rubik down bottom, so IG are probably themselves looking for a solo mid. It really depends. Chinese playstyle very differing from that of... Actually, we might see Morphling solo mid, and we'll see Rubik down bottom alongside someone else. They might want to go with great early game power, such as a Venomancer for that 50% slow, as well as a good amount of counter push in the form of those wards and sort of vision and scouting when you're venturing about in places that you shouldn't be. You can place wards ahead of yourself, make sure no one's coming in to get the jump on you. But that's sort of a double-edged sword, because if you're looking for ganks, then you're going to quite obviously reveal your position if you pop out of wards like, oh, there's a Venomancer here somewhere. Faith, 30 seconds of reserve time remaining, but again, there's a lot on the line. These are the semi-finals, the winner bracket semi-final. They're going to go with the Ross, they're going to go with that support hero that provides a nice amount of push and counter push. Rasta is a great hero all round, and a hero that can hopefully hold down that anti-mage. Because what's the biggest problem with anti-mage? Bastard bloody blinks everywhere. What can't you do when you're stunned or disabled? Blink. So you've got the Hex to come in from the Shadow Shaman, and then you have the Shackles. It's a very long amount of time for the anti-mage to be taking damage, and chances are he might not be able to blink out of that.
5 seconds remaining.
Na'Vi, we're about to start ticking away into their reserve time once again. We need a solo mid for Dendy. Who will we go? Venomancer are going to be secured up by Na'Vi. Good amount of push, good amount of, a good amount of counter push, good amount of synergy when it comes to team fights, as well as a good amount of early game aggression, because 50% slow at level 1, hell yeah. Night Stalker to be secured up by Invictus Gaming. Here is our solo mid for that of Ferrari 430. It's possible they might roll Shadow Shaman solo mid. I doubt it. Chinese teams tend to not do that. As to how the lanes will unfold, I would guess Broodmother solo top. You know, Na'Vi actually, in regards to their final pick, might want something to combat that Broodmother a bit. Something that provides a bit more sort of AoE. Tidehunter is actually really good, so is Venomancer. So they're both good picks. They might want to add even more to that mix, such as an SK. Caustic Finale completely destroys Spiderling waves. But then again, Tidehunter with the Anchor Smash, Venomancer with the Venomous Gale, they might be happy with that, with that being enough to hold down that Broodmother. As for the lanes for IG, really uncertain. IG, they could go a variety of different ways. I would guess the Night Stalker will be a solo mid. We'll see Broodmother maybe solo top. We could see a tri-lane down bottom with Morphling, Rasta, and Rubik. Now that is a lot of power. We've got a great disable to come out of Rubik. We've got damage to come out of the Morphling. And with Shadow Shaman, we have, of course, 2 disables and a nice bit of burst damage. And the wards are quite nice as well. Queen of Pain secured up by Na'Vi, 100% understandable. We need that solo mid for that of Dendy. And Queen of Pain was one of few remaining that Dendy would be comfortable playing. And in a few moments, we will jump straight into the action. Over on the side of IG, Invictus Gaming. On the Radiant side, we have Zhao taking up the role of the Morphling, Chuan playing on the Rubik, Ferrari 430 playing as a Broodmother, YYF taking up the role of the Night Stalker, and Faith to play as Rasta. And over on the side of Na'Vi, we have Havorst playing as the anti-mage, Dendy taking up the role of the Queen of Pain, Light of Heaven to play as the Tidehunter, We have Puppey playing on the Chen, and last but by no means the least, we have Arsart on the Venomancer. The Venomancer looking like some sort of caterpillar worm thing. He looks really unhappy with himself. This is the second time this has happened, where for some reason none of Venomancer's crap is loaded, and he looks like some weird bloody snake thing. Havorse venturing out, wants to be cautious. A big chunk of IG's army is down here. And how are they going to lane this? With, wait, Ferrari 430. Who was he playing on again? The Broodmother. Broodmother mid, maybe? Or maybe Ferrari will be going up top as expected. Maybe Morphling in mid. And we'll leave this tri-lane down the bottom. Possibly. It's a lot of damage, a lot of disabled. Nightstalker alongside Rasa. They're venturing out just a little bit. Balinar wants some blood. Nice offensive, good offensive ward to be placed down. Tidehunter having a bit of a guard on the rune here. We are indeed going to see Broodmother top. This could possibly be a bait, you never know. You put the first web at top and you rotate to mid or bottom. Zhao solo mid by the looks of it. We will see Chuan. Actually, is Chuan going to join him in the solo mid or maybe making his way up top? These lanes coming out from IG, they're sort of real. Venomancer mid. Okay, the lanes coming out from both sides are definitely not what I would have expected. Light of Heaven solo bottom. We will have Venomancer alongside the Anti-Mage towards the middle lane, and over in the top we will see Dendi going up against a Broodmother, which works out very nicely. Scream, and then suddenly all the Spiderlings die.
No.
With Arsart, the Venomancer joining the mix, you can deal a good amount of harassment to the Morphling. Venomous Scale, a few right clicks, your mana disappears, you can't morph to strength, things will be looking bad. But with Chuan in the mix, the Rubik, Telekinesis, good amount of defensibility, they're going to have to be cautious. And we can already see the damage coming in on Havorse. There goes the Telekinesis, a few right clicks, blinks away to safety. And another big thing to note is that Fade Bolt. The Fade Bolt reduces your right click damage, which is problematic for someone like an Anti-Mage who needs those killed, absolutely needs those killed. Raza coming in from the behind, Shock to go down, Shock level first, we're getting that Shock level 1 rather, as opposed to a Hex or a Shackle. A few right clicks to come out of Light of Heaven, but nothing more than that. He will be fine for the most part. He can easily regen his way back to where he needs to be. Over in the top lane, Ferrari 430 and Dendi duking it out. Dendi taking a couple of right clicks here, absolutely with absolute impunity to come out of the Broodmother. Doesn't care in the slightest. And IG moving in towards middle lane. Double Venomous Gale to come down. Chuan taking up a couple of right clicks. Havorse wants to move in. Will he continue to pursuit? There goes one right click, but nothing more than that. Just telling him, get the hell off my lane. He's asserting his dominance. He is. Like a dog. Dendi Shadow Strike, trying to Shadow Strike, but he keeps slipping in that invisibility. It makes life just that little bit more difficult. Chen coming in from the behind, has himself a Troll Shaman. Smoke of Deceit has been popped off as well. Looking for that superior positioning. Somewhat curious as to why this ward is here to come in from the team of IG. The Chen is going to back off. They're too far back. They're right by the safety of their tower. Nothing's going to happen. Ethan YYF, Light of Heaven. He just needs to soak up experience. He's not getting last hits, but if he can soak up experience, he should be all right. Puppey coming in from the behind, Sentry Ward being placed down, right click to come down, Ferrari, Troll Trap to come down, there it goes, here comes the right click, double damage being activated by Venomancer as well, who's making his way up to top, more right clicks being dealt down. But Ferrari is just so tanky, and they're unable to do it despite the fact that they got such good positioning on him. Arsart making his way to top, wants to try and jump on Ferrari, will be unable to do so, he's backed off to the safety of his tower, to the safety of his side of the base. Venomancer's going to stick around towards top by the looks of it, wants to try and utilize the double damage that he has secured for himself. Havorse currently sitting on 1 for 3, not having the greatest time with Zhao. 9 for 10. So in comparison, the carry for IG is doing a lot better than the carry for Na'Vi. And that's definitely not good for Na'Vi. YYF currently sitting on 14 to 8. And once nighttime hits, this Night Stalker is going to be everywhere. He'll be ganking at every single opportunity. It will be pretty bad, for lack of a better term. Venomancer returning back down to the middle lane, wants to try and make sure he can help out Havorse in getting those last hits, because right now he's not getting any of them, and that's not good for him, needless to say. Broodmother just sitting back, chilling out, knows that there's a sentry ward right here, so has to be cautious about incoming reinforcements, because they could take him down. He won't have the safety of the stealth in his web to try and save the day and make sure he doesn't die a horrible death. And the lane equilibrium is being controlled really nicely by IG right now. We can see that the lane is on their side. Zhao alongside Chuan, they can sit back and they can farm, and whenever Havorse gets close, because they're both ranged heroes, they can just right click him instead, and Havorse is just having a horrible time. Pulling action going on. Sounds somewhat dirty. Raps decides to crash, as it does. Looking at Zhao. 17 for 17. A great time. And compared to the anti-mage, 1 for 3. He's having an abysmal time. Arsar waiting and positioning. Zhao gonna looking to hope to get this rune, which he will indeed get. Regeneration rune secured by him, which is huge. It's going to allow him to deal out a big chunk of harassment to the anti-mage with absolute impunity. If he uses that regeneration rune, he gets straight back to where he needs to be. He'll be a happy Morphling in absolutely no danger at all. And he'll have the 3 bottle charges available for him. YIF just free farming down bottom, and Morphling is essentially doing the same thing. Na'Vi cannot contest him at all right now. They're just playing it too safe, and they're still getting farm. Very, very, very smart by the team of IG. They're doing a great job in this game. Positioning, lanes, everything is working out so nicely for them, and right from the get-go, it's looking like a loss for Na'Vi. IG are going to have to screw up really badly. They're currently going in on Ferrari 430, simply backs off, sees the March of Death incoming. Venomancer wants to join the fray as well, but 430 is backed off to the safety of the tower. Will they want to dive to try and take this down? It will be a risky endeavor, but there are 4 heroes here, and 4 heroes, it's quite a bit of punishment to be dealt down. But nighttime is going to be soon, and we could see YYF TP up to the top lane with the cover of night being dealt, and going to be painful. Dire fortification to go down. We're trying to push in towards this middle lane. IG doing a good job. Havors forced to stay back. And Na'Vi are looking for a trade. We're pushing out this tower. Seda Hellcaller to cut off the creep wave. Shockwave to fly out, do a bit of damage. Zhao getting a little bit low, has a regeneration rune, but so he doesn't really care in the slightest about any damage he takes. And looks like we're going to go with a trade. The difference is we're dedicating 2 heroes for this tower towards the middle lane. We're dedicating 4 heroes for the top tower. TPs are rolling in. Maybe they will not get the top tower. It's getting very low. One more right click. It's actually in deny range right now. So IG have to get this or they have to leave. Will Na'Vi get the deny? Now's a crutch moment. They do not get the deny. Morphling gets the last hit. Waveform onto the low ground. We're currently blinking in. Havors is very low in HP. He wants to be careful. Gush to fly down. There goes the Venomous Gale. Arsar taking a couple of right clicks, but nothing more than that. Zhao is moving in once again. He could get taken down. Morphing to strength. YYF coming in to reinforce. Avoid to come down on Arsar. Arsar almost takes a fall due to the Fade Bolt. He does indeed take a fall. And we're moving in on Light of Heaven. No protection of the tower here. A couple more right clicks. Chen gonna try and send him back to base. Will be able to successfully do so. But Puppy has to back off. He's in a bad place. He's gonna take a fall. 2 for nothing for the team of IG. But Zhao still getting low. The Seda Hellcaller trying to do what it can do, but what it can do is not enough against that morph to strength. It's just too strong, and 2 kills for absolutely nothing for the team of IG, and they got a tower. Things are looking good for them. Goods. If their laning start was brilliant, now they've got themselves a kill advantage. They got first blood. Things aren't looking so great for Na'Vi, and this Broodmother's pretty much been free farming for the most part, killing off every single creep in the jungle, going to constantly push this top lane. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Na'Vi because they can't really dedicate that many resources. They need every single member available, but they're constantly going to have to leave one member at top to make sure Broodmother doesn't overrun their base. It's a bad situation for Na'Vi to be in, and the outlook of this game isn't promising in the slightest. Rasta maxing out Shock, and you might think to yourself, well, why would you max out Shock as opposed to the Disable? Surely the Disables would be better. The thing is, at this stage of the game, the extra right-click damage the teammate might deal because of those Disables is probably not as significant as if you just got the extra burst damage. Wards to go down, Light of Heaven taking a couple of right-clicks. He's getting awfully low. He's going to have to back off to the fountain. This tower could take a fall. Fortification is not available, and no TPs are rolling in because IG are pushing in towards this middle lane. Broodmother constantly pushing in towards the top lane. IG are everywhere right now, and they're about to take a tier 1, a lone support. Taking down the tower. Easy peasy.
Dire's bottom tower has
Zhao taking a couple of right clicks, morphing to strength. Dendi unable to follow it up, however. Reinforcements are rolling in. Poppy's going on a bit of an adventure with his double centaur calm, but finds no one. Chuan going to TP back to base. Morphling going to secure himself an illusion rune. Use those bottle charges up, bring him straight back to where he needs to be. He'll be a happy individual indeed. And IG, they're just continuing to dominate. There goes a Void. Light of Heaven going to force to try and TP out. Will be able to successfully do so. YYF doesn't want to continue to tank the tower. Zhao moving in to join the mix as well, and Broodmother pushing in on this top tower. We're about to take our 3rd tier 1, and we're only 8 minutes into the game. Chen trying to send Havors back to base, but he does get taken down. The Spiraling charges are too strong. Chen creeps move in to try and do a bit of damage, but nothing more than that. That's a big kill because Anti-Mage has no farm as it is, currently sitting on 11 for 4. And we're about to secure ourselves a tier 2. IG are dominating in this game. They're looking absolutely unstoppable. How can Na'Vi come back from this deficit? Is it a possibility? Look at that late game. Well, Havors are going to need to farm like crazy. he's going to need to farm like crazy because Zhao's getting great farm. He's got no kills under his belt, actually, but he has a good amount of reasonable amount of farm, while Havors has nothing. Arsar getting a couple of right clicks. Will be able to make it out. The answer is yes, successfully TPing out to the safety of his fountain. It was a close one, though. One more right click would have done it. The tier 1 takes a fall. Chuan alongside Ferrari pushing out the top lane. We're pushing out the bottom lane. The team of IG, they're everywhere right now. The only lane that isn't getting pushed is that of the middle lane. And they'll move on to that later. Split pushing coming out from the Chinese team like crazy right now. Killing off the spiderlings where we can. Deny this farm from the Broodmother. And Havors is trying to get the right clicks in that he can, but he has to be careful. Ferrari 430 could take him down really, really easily. But Havors finally getting the opportunity to get a couple of right clicks in, but if Rubik moves in to assist, it's going to be very bad. In fact, YYF is moving in as well. This could be the death of Havors, but his game sense is just a little bit too strong, or maybe it's the use of this ward here. I have no idea. But nevertheless, Anti-Mage gets away, 100% fine for the time being, but he's not getting farm, and that's what he so desperately needs, is farm, and he's getting absolutely none of it. Man, Rasta has more farm than him. The supports on the opposing team are getting more farm than him. Na'Vi are in a bad place right now. And if IG continued to capitalize on the advantage that they have secured for themselves, if they continue to push, if they utilize the Morphling and his extra abilities, I mean the extra farm that he's gotten is in comparison to the team of Na'Vi, there's no way that IG can lose. Probably taking a big chunk of damage. Gush to follow it up on YYF. And the Spiderling army is slowly but surely building up for Ferrari, and they're going to use it in order to take down this tier 2. Easy peasy. Dendi being harassed down by the Spiderlings. Same with Puppy, and Puppy's awfully low. He has to be cautious about this. Scream of Pain to fly out, that should be enough, but YYF are moving in. IG, will he get it? No slow to come in on the Queen of Pain. We'll be able to back off. No kill for them just yet. And Havors is looking in a lot of trouble. They're moving in, but the wards will catch him that. He has to blink away fast. He does indeed, and he will be absolutely safe. Whenever Havors tries to free farm, there's always someone there to say, nope, and just slap him in the face, or threaten him with a big slap. If you stay around here, I'm going to kill you. And Zhao's in this lane, and I tell you what, Zhao's just going to right-click Havors about 4 or 5 times, and Havors is going to die. Simple as that. YYF moving in a Light of Heaven. The slow has come down. No further follow-up damage, however. There are a lot of reinforcements coming in by Na'Vi. Smoke to go off. We want to try and get the superior positioning. A nice little surprise kill on them. Will it happen, however? The wards have been popped off. Fortification is available. We're trying to come in from the side. Spiderling scouting out just a little bit. Nice ward placement to come out of IG, but no sentries to spot out the smoke. Puppy leading in on the offensive. The smoke has been popped off. They know Ferrari is nearby. The Centaurs are charging in. Centaurs, rather, are charging in, but the team of IG, they're just too mobile. They're just too fast, and they back off before anything can happen. The tier 2 takes a fall, and Na'Vi are just continuing to lag behind. With every single step that IG take, Na'Vi fall behind about 10. Na'Vi, they're trying to crawl their way back to where they need to be, but is it actually a possibility? I don't think so. For Na'Vi to come back, IG need to make some big mistakes. And IG, they don't strike me as a team that's going to make mistakes, especially when there's $1 million on the line. For them, $2 million. Their sponsors have promised them an extra $1 million. Dendi, a bit of right-click damage to come down. Centaur can't get the stun on YYF. The team of Na'Vi are moving in, but more reinforcements coming from IG, and Na'Vi realize they have to back off or else we're going to be in a lot of trouble. YYF, a little bit low. The Vanguard will pretty much heal him back to where he needs to be in a few moments, essentially. Faith going on a bit of a scouting mission. Havors blinking in on Ferrari 430. He just wants the farm. Doesn't care about Ferrari. Just needs those last hits so desperately. But IG, that Ferrari, he's relaying information to the rest of his team saying, hey, there's a pretty high priority target here at the top lane. He doesn't look very defensible right now. Hey, Raster, if you can get the hex on him, if you can get the shackles on him, it's a fairly easy kill for us. And it works out nicely for us because, hey, he's the one that needs to farm, and every kill we get against him, it's time that he's not farming, and it's gold that he's going to lose. Ferrari 430 moving in. Havors just blinks away. Raster nowhere to be found. He's actually pretty close by. Hex and Shackles would have done a big chunk of damage, possibly even outright killed Havors. Not sure why we didn't try and push in just then. But Havors returns at a fairly rapid rate, wants to try and take down the Spiderling, but even the Spiderlings are causing him problems. He's just so far behind, doesn't even have treads yet. having a pretty abysmal time. The team of Na'Vi is smoked up in the jungle. Are they going to find anyone out? Well, Rasta's not too far away. The Broodmother's all the way at top, but we're going to go towards mid. We want to try and secure ourselves at least one tower. Maybe they suspect Roshan is in order. They also spot out YYF down the bottom, but killing off him, it's going to be no easy feat. Wards, do we have... Just checking if there are wards coming in from ID. They may have seen that rune disappeared, which would have hinted towards a dust. YYF entering back. Did he want to try and catch him out? The position has been revealed. He blinks ahead. There goes a scream. There goes a Shadow Strike to follow it up. The right click's being dealt. Double damage being popped off. Light of Heaven trying to intercept. YYF retreating to the safety of his tower. Popped off the nighttime. TPs are rolling in. Na'Vi have to back off, else they get caught out. Ravage is currently available. Zal moving in alongside YYF. There goes a waveform. Chen going to try and send him back to base. Will the damage be enough? He will just barely get out. Nice Centaur Stomp. Fantastic Centaur Stomp to come out of Na'Vi. Dendi currently lagging behind, but he can blink ahead easy. But Poppy's going to be very vulnerable if he does indeed blink ahead. Wildkin being caught out, Ensnare to go down, a few more right clicks will take it down, Telekinesis to follow it up, a bit of free gold for the team of Na'Vi, as well as a big powerful creep removed from the hands of Chen and the rest of Na'Vi's team. The tier 2 tower, the last exterior tower remaining for the team of Na'Vi. Dendi's having a lot of trouble just fighting off these Morphling illusions, no easy feat. That Morphling's getting the items up, 3,800 in the bank, he's looking great. What's he going to get himself first? A Thorough Blade, possibly? Maybe he'll just want to go straight for, say, a Manta. Or a, I wouldn't so much think of Lincoln's. Like, we don't have any reliable disable coming out of Na'Vi, with the exception of Ravage. Venomous Gale to go down. Probably being caught down. He instantly melts the might of ID. The walls have been popped off. Arsart trying to run away, but the shackles go down. Light of Heaven trying to reinforce the best he can. Has a Ravage available, but he's down to half HP. He could get bursted down within the course of seconds and unable to get that Ravage off at all. Waveform goes down. Arsart takes a fall. And this is a tier 2 tower for the team of IG. The last exterior tower remaining by Na'Vi, immediately secured by the team of IG. Meanwhile, Broodmother's pushing out this top lane. The barracks is getting close to exposed, and Na'Vi call out GG.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
100% understandable. There's no way that Na'Vi can come back from this. And in a few moments, the Ancient will fall, and that is game 1 of a best of 3. IG going up against Na'Vi. IG secured the victory as they have before. We saw in the preliminaries, IG 2-0 Na'Vi, easy peasy, made them look like a bunch of scrub children. And IG, they sort of did it again. They completely dominated right from the start. No kills for Na'Vi, only one tower for Na'Vi. Will they be able to bring it back in the second game, maybe force a third one, or will they be wiped out 2-0 once again by IG? We'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Toshley. See you next time.